Hey, I'm ChristopherJMUA and welcome back to my channel. Unless you've never been here, of course, then welcome. I'm so glad you've stopped by. Today we are reviewing the Natasha Denona Triochrome palette for the second time because I actually already filmed an entire review and an entire look using the palette, but I accidentally deleted it. So here we are yet again. This obviously is not going to be a first impressions anymore, but it is still going to be a review. It's just going to be review part 2. So if you would like to know a little bit more information about the Natasha Denona Triochrome palette, if you'd like to see the palette itself, as well as the live swatches, and my initial second impressions, then stay exactly where you are, keep doing exactly what you're doing, and keep on watching. Okay guys, we're just going to jump right in so that we can get a move on. This is the unit carton for the Natasha Denona Triochrome palette. As you can see, it is duochrome. It's like this really awesome green color to this really beautiful purple color. It's just perfect. And it says Natasha Denona Triochrome on the front as well as on the back. It has the shade names up here on the top and the ingredient list on the bottom, as well as how to use some of the eyeshadows written right over here. If we flip it back over and we open the unit carton to reveal the palette itself, we have the same sort of packaging. Also a duochrome from green to purple. On the front, it also says Natasha Denona Triochrome palette, and on the back, it has the little holes in it so that you can pop out the pans to create your own custom eyeshadow if you want to. Then if we flip it back over and we open it, we have a protective sheet right on the inside that should fall out, or I don't have one anymore. Okay, I guess one's not coming out. And here is the palette itself. And now I'm going to go ahead and zoom you guys in so we can get started on swatches. The first shade is the shade Scrap. Androdite. Scarab. Ion. Vert, Naga, Manganese, Kinetic, Redox, Tungsten, Vertex, Plutonium, Color Flip, Garmin, and Diatonic. And there we have every single shade from the Natasha Denona Triochrome palette. As always, I will insert photos of the swatches, one with flash here, and one without flash here. And here's a video close-up of every single shade. I think the color story within this palette is pretty beautiful. I am kind of disappointed though that there aren't more triochrome, multichrome, duochrome shades in the palette. There are only 3, and it's those 3 middle shades right down the center. But I do like how this is almost set up in 3 different looks. You have your green look on the top, your mauve-y purpley look in the middle, and then your orangey rosy look on the bottom. So I think that's pretty cool. I honestly don't really remember what look I created the first time I filmed. I know I used these two shades because I had to try the Triochrome shades, and those are both purple. I think I'm still going to end up using one of them, maybe. This is exciting. It's almost like another first impressions. That's sad because it was only like 2 weeks ago that I did my original first impressions. I've slept since then though, guys. Anyways, I'm going to go ahead and go off camera and prime my eyes with my P. Louise base in the shade Rumor 02, and I will be right back. Okay, I think for today's look, I'm going to mainly stick to the olive tones. They're just kind of calling my name this time. So I'm going to start by using the Eco Tools Full Shadow Brush, and I'm going to go into the shade Vert. And using this, I'm just going to start packing the color on my crease, just really concentrating it onto the center of the crease and filling in as the overall transition shade. Wow, that went on like a cream. It's really, really soft, but pigmented. And I'm not seeing a whole bunch of fallout currently. I'm gonna pull this all the way around, right into the inner corner area. Since I'm using this shade as my transition shade, it's just gonna help give an overall olivey feel, if you will. Now using the Eco Tools Precision Blending Brush, I'm gonna go into the shade Ion. So I'm gonna start on the inner edge, and I'm gonna just place the brush halfway on existing pigment and halfway on bare skin. Well, primed base. And I'm just going to start packing this shade down, laying down the pigment itself. I'm going to go up into the brow, skipping this section so I don't actually color my brow lime green. And then brow bone. Okay, so now that I have all of the color applied, now I'm going to just use tiny little bitty circular motions all the way around and just blend those two shades in together. I realize this is only 2 colors so far, but I've got to say that I really admire how beautiful and soft the blend between these 2 colors is. It just looks good. But to make it even better, I'm going to go in with the Morphe M441 Giant Fluffy Brush, and I'm just going to quickly swipe over all of the edges of these greens just to kind of finesse the blend between them and make them a little bit softer of a blend. Okay, the blend is now finessed, so I'm going to go in with the Morphe M456 brush next, and the shade Scrap. So far, just want to mention too that none of the shades have a ton of kickback in the pan. They all have a little bit. It's a moderate level of kickback, but nothing insane, nothing too crazy, nothing that I can't handle. And with this shade, I'm just going to start filling the deepest most portion of the crease, and I'm going to carry that all the way around to the inner corner from the outer corner. So I'm going to use a combination of windshield wiper motions to get the spread of the color, as well as some circular buffing motions just to buff the pigment out and make it look a little softer as we go. And this is already just helping me define that crease a little more, make it look a little more chiseled and finished and complete and gorgeous. I'm just going to build this up little by little until I get it as dark as I actually want it to be, which I don't know what that's going to be yet. I'll let you know when I get there though. This is something I just love about Natasha Denona shadows. You can get the most beautiful, soft, luscious blend that's just so difficult to achieve with so many other brands of eyeshadows, and it's like it just melts on when it comes to her formula. Ooh, that's so smoky and ochre-y. And now my soft ochre realness is complete. I feel like $1,000,000. Literally, since I'm the same color as $1,000,000. Now I'm going to go in with the Morphe X Jeffree Star JS11 brush. It's just a big, wide, flat brush, C-shaped brush. And I'm going to go into the shade Color Flip this time. Picks up really, really well with this flat brush, so that's good news. Goes on nicely already, even just with the little bit that was on the other side of the brush. Oh, this is gorgeous. And it's going on so metallic. It looks so purple on camera, but no, it's like that in real life too. But there is a green flip to it. So like, yeah, you can see it where it looks like it's just like my skin with some green eyeshadow. That is the green flip. That's so cool because it's very, very purple. In other places, it looks very out of place with this look until it flips green. All right, almost 0 fallout from that shade. But now, to try and make this look a little bit more cohesive, I'm actually going to take this Morphe M506 really teeny tiny detailed pointed blender brush, and I'm going to go into the shade Manganese. I feel like since the shimmer on my lid does have majority purple with a green flip, I need to make my purple tone a little bit more in the crease. So I'm going to go ahead and add this right on top of the shade Scrap in my crease. I'm essentially just warming up that deep shade that's there. It's really just to try and make it a little more cohesive, like I said. That's really the only reason I'm doing this. I'm also going to go ahead and add a little bit of the shade Scrap on the outer corner and the inner corner of my lid as well. Alas, the blending is done on the outer portion of the crease. It kind of just helped create that spotlight effect on the lid that we all know and love. So now I am going to go in with the shade Scarab, but I'm just going to use my pinky finger, and I'm going to barely put a tiny little dot of this. Do you see that? Oh my god. It's so intense. It looks like a green Jolly Rancher. But I'm going to put this right on the center of my lid. So now that I've got this just really awesome color story on my eyes, I'm going to go ahead and do all my face makeup off camera. That way we can come back and finish off the lower lash line instead. So I'm going to go ahead and do that off camera just to save some time, and I will see you guys in just a second. Here we now have almost the entire finished look. We just have to finish off the lower lash line. So I'm going to start by using the EcoTools angled liner brush, except I'm not going to use it for a liner. I'm going to use it for tight lining on my lower lash line as per usual. So I'm going to go into the shade Manganese yet again. No, maybe I should change it up. Let's go into Tungsten instead. And I'm going to take Tungsten right along my lower lash line. And you guys, every time I do this, I get so close to my lower lashes, like very, very close. And I usually feel like that's the easiest way for me to have the most control, A, and B. It seems to be just the perfect right amount of pigment to be able to blend out with another color. So it's sort of perfect for the lower lash line. And now it's time for the Laura Lee Los Angeles L19 brush. It's another C-shaped brush, but it's a very poofy, fluffy C-shaped brush, so it helps with the buffing. And I'm gonna go into the shade Diatonic. I just love the way this shade looks. It's probably gonna look terrible as my lower lash line color, if you will, but I've only got one life, you know? And I'm gonna live a little, is what I'm gonna do. Wow, I love the color that's creating. It's not quite a coral because the purple, it's kind of deepening it down, but the concealer is as well. It's just turning into a really pretty color. Oh, I love that so much. Now that Diatonic is blended out on the lower lash line, it's time for me to go ahead and go off camera and finish off my lower lashes using the Milk Makeup Kush Mascara. That's what I used for the top lashes. Also, the lashes that I chose for today are the House of Lashes Knockout Lashes, and they are fantastic. And then for the waterline, I used my Gerard Cosmetics Automatic Eyeliner in the shade Resting Rich Face. It's just like a forest green, but sort of toned down a little bit. I digress. I'm gonna go ahead and go off camera, and I'll see you guys in just a second to give my final thoughts on this palette. And we're back with the finished look. So what do you guys think of the look that was created using the Natasha Denona Triochrome palette? Is it acceptable? Is it Triochrome-y? I definitely feel like in real life, it's much more impactful than it is on the monitor. Let me see if I can turn the brightness down and get you guys a closer look. Oh my gosh, here I am in all of my close-up HD bright closeness. I don't like it. Let's get this over with quickly. Okay, so do you see how it's like green and it looks like it all matches? And then we can get, there's the purple on the side. So it kind of flows in together. And we have this really gorgeous mixed formula with the duochrome. Oh, that is just so phenomenal. I love the way that looks in just real lighting. So hopefully that gave just a little bit clearer of a vision of what the look actually looks like. For this being the second look that I created with this palette, I'm gonna say, just in all honesty, I really don't remember what I did the first time because it was so long ago. I do, however, remember that I enjoyed my experience and I didn't really have any problems with it. The only shade that I had a problem with both times, and it's actually not even a problem with using it, it's just a problem with it in the palette, is the shade Diatonic, because it's got hard pan, and it had hard pan since the very first time I used it. If you don't know what hard pan is, it's whenever your shadows get this weird hard layer over the top of them, typically caused by them getting wet on the top and re-drying, and them re-drying with a different consistency than what they started with. That, however, was not the case for this one. I don't really know why it has hard pan. Usually you can go in and just take a spoolie and scratch off the top. I just don't want to do that yet because it hurts my heart. Oh, also, this palette is $129. And the main question is, would I recommend it based on that price? And I would have to say that I don't. I really don't think I do. I do love this color story. I think that it is my favorite Natasha Denona color story. And I'm not complaining that I own it at all. I would buy it again, over and over again. But I would buy it on sale because $130. And I'll be honest, I was expecting a few more Triochrome, Duochrome shifting shades instead of just 3. Now, some positives with there being one multi-dimensional shade in each row is that there's at least one shade to go with each color story that the rows create. However, I personally would prefer if I had maybe like 5 or 6 multi-toned shades paired up with maybe a couple of shimmers that aren't, that I could use as well to help emphasize looks. So you can take that for really what you will. It's just a matter of preference and how you think you're gonna work with the palette. I just know for me personally, for me to want to pay $130 for a palette, it's gotta have a color story that's gonna be perfect for what I'm looking for within that palette. And this one just isn't quite that for me. But if I could get it on sale for like 70 bucks, maybe 80, I would buy it for that. So I would definitely still pay a luxury price tag for it, just not the luxury price tag that it has. Here I am talking like I didn't actually pay that much for it when I definitely did. But hopefully you guys won't have to. If you don't have this palette and you were thinking about it, go ahead and get it on sale if you want to. If you want to pay full price for it, you can. Just know that you're only going to get 3 Triochrome shades. I would rather just buy single multi-chrome shades or Triochrome shades and buy them individually instead, and stock up my collection with shades like that that you can pair with any palette you want, instead of getting this palette like this. If you are interested in the color story this palette has, though, I will say that's really interesting, and I do like the color story. It's a fun color story. It's different to have this combo of shades within one palette. I just wouldn't have expected it to be laid out like this. So that made it pretty interesting, and I think it's cool that I can take those 3 shades out and put them into a magnetic palette if I want to. I think that's really, really awesome. I love that she does that with her palettes. Anyway guys, that is enough from me. I hope you enjoyed this review and this video. If you did, it'd be really awesome if you wanted to give me a thumbs up just to let me know that you did. Also, leave me a comment down below. Let me know what you think about this palette. Are you offended that there's only 3 duo/triochrome shades in this palette? Because I kind of was. I was hoping for like 5 originally, but that's okay. You live and you learn. Also, let me know which row you would have gone with to create a monochromatic-ish look with this palette. Let me know down below. You guys know that I always love to have a conversation with you. I just like to talk to you guys because you're my friends. Also, if you guys like this look and you want to see more looks like them, you can follow me on Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat, and TikTok. My username is the same for everything. It's just ChristopherJMUA. And if you gain nothing out of this video, if you gain nothing out of any of my videos, please at least gain this. And that is to always remember and to never forget that you are absolutely beautiful. And I love you guys. Bye.